I finally tried something I've been really excited about for a very long time, which is making electronic beats and odd time signatures, and more precisely, I created this sort of techno beat. It's in 7/4 and it's just so much fun to make beats like that. I want to share with you those individual elements and also show you how you can approach making 7/4 beats yourself with your own hardware, software, whatever you're using. And also let me know if you know cool songs that use odd time signatures in the electronic world, because I don't know so many yet. My name is Janis, by the way, and let's jump right into it by checking out the kick drum, because if you only listen to the kick drum, it could basically be any time signature. Having a steady kick drum is really great because it gives lots of space to the other elements to make more exciting rhythmical stuff. Because if I would start with some complicated syncopated kick drum already, everything would feel a little hectic and unstable. But now we can, for example, use the bass for bringing in some more movement in it, some sort of hard bass or hard techno inspired bass figure that plays off beats but also some syncopations. Here you can see the kick and the bass. I actually quantized it, so it's a little more easy to follow along because I played this on my Nord drum. So you can see that the bass dances around the kick drums, and 3 times you have the same pattern, which is this one, this dung 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 dung. And at the 7th step, we have actually this variation, which is just 2/16 notes on the bass, and then it kind of flows naturally back into the groove. And I feel like this is some kind of smooth transition. Let's listen to it once more. And actually it's quite fun to play around with different positions, so that's basically what I did on the Nord drum, but you can also just draw it in. So if I erase those notes and just let the kick drum play, I'll just add some notes and show you some cool variations. And it really helps to use some repetition, because now we have this pattern, which is also great. But if I just randomly draw somewhere, it will sound too random. I mean, let's just try out now, but I'm quite sure this will sound random. And I mean, it kind of works, but repetition helps making those things more danceable and more, I would say, clappable, because I always try to clap things if I compose rhythms, because if I can internalize the rhythm and it feels cool to clap, it means like it feels good. It's like a melody that works and sounds harmonic. And I always try to think of also other music cultures, like in Indian music, for example, or Balkan music. They use odd meters all the time without actually thinking about it. So they just play it, they sing it, and it just works. It's their folk music. And in Western music, it's conceived more in this kind of intellectual thing, but it doesn't have to be this way. I think you should always be able to have patterns that are fun to clap, to play, or listen to. And that's how I actually realize if a melody or some rhythm makes sense or not. Next, I added some hi-hat, which gives some driving feel to the beat. Here you can see the hi-hat as a MIDI clip, so you can see the different velocities, the offbeat accent, and also the 2 accents in the end. Quite some movement in the velocity. Generally, playing hi-hats yourself is super fun, but also quite tricky. It took me a while to play it in a cool way. I also added lots of swing. I mean, now it's just a quantized MIDI clip, so it's more clear to see where the notes are and where the differences are. But this is really fun because I can show you how it actually sounds in the quantized way, and I find it way more boring than actually this swung feeling. mean, the quantized thing didn't have the reverb now, but still you could probably hear that it's quite a big difference. And I don't know if I would get the same amount of swing by just the groove pool or something. It's really fun to experiment with playing here. Next, there's some other percussive elements, some sort of woodblock sound. And this rhythm is a great example for a figure that can be super fun to learn by clapping, because after a while you should internalize it. You won't think about, okay, am I in 7, am I in 5, where am I generally? I think it will feel super organic and you don't think about numbers, so let's try to clap it. I also absolutely love creating melodic sequences and melodies in 7/4. This melody is based on some approach I shared in some other videos some weeks ago. I'm going to link it to you in this info box, where I spoke about using drum rudiments, which is like a basic drum vocabulary, for creating super exciting sequencing ideas. Rudiments are basically combinations of 1 or 2 strokes per hand. So here you can see I play right, left, right, left, right, left, left. And then the whole thing repeats itself, and then you perfectly fill up the 7 spaces or the 7 steps, and it sounds really organic and it's some super cool technique, so definitely check out this video. And what also happens here is that you can come up with lots of new cool sequencing ideas, because now we play all notes, but if you mute certain notes, you get very cool rhythms. And here I figured out that this F, actually it's not some F because it triggers the Nord drum right now, but just this rhythm by itself also sounds super interesting. And again, this rhythm is super clappable. Also, because it has so many repetitions. In fact, it's just one figure, this one, that gets repeated 4 times. And there's one more element, which is some improvised drum part, where I basically played with some snare sound and lots of reverb. Almost some tribal vibe, but it was super fun, and I kind of came up with this one pattern. Somehow the MIDI didn't capture my ornamentations, like those little drum rolls. But again, if you take those away, you can focus on the accents. That again will be some very clappable rhythm. And I mean, maybe you're a little annoyed already by my clapping, but I just want to point out that it's super important to really feel those rhythms, because everybody can just create some 7/4 MIDI clip or some 29 8th note MIDI clip and just randomly draw in some notes. But it's the art to actually make rhythms that you can feel, and clapping is one of the best indicators, because usually your body responds to music, and clapping is one of the most natural ways of trying to play rhythms yourself. Now I created some YouTube-friendly arrangement out of those parts. It's just 1.5 minutes, but you can listen to those individual elements for a little longer and also see how they actually evolve or how they respond to each other in some very tiny arrangement and very simple arrangement. And there's one additional part, so you can see that these are all the parts I was mentioning. And there's a pad, so that's basically the same part as the sequence, but that's one of my favorite techniques lately for pads, because instead of just picking a pad sound from a synth preset library or whatever, I like to use whatever I have in my arrangement for the melody, so in this case the melodic sequence, and add some ethereal reverb. So in my case it's most of the time Eventide Black Hole, but you can basically use any reverb and exaggerate the settings, so make it super long, super big, super over the top, and turn the mix knob up to 100%, because then you have some super organic pad that is totally related to the melodic content you already have in your song. So actually I like this sound a lot. And I already say goodbye because the video ends with that little performance. Thanks a lot for watching. Also, warm invitation to let me know in case you like this video format, because I'm really excited about making more videos about odd meters and electronic music. And if you like it as well, just let me know. Apart from that, I wish you lots of inspiration with whatever it is that you create and hope to see you soon again at this channel. Bye.